Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, May 30th, 2025. Welcome to another eBay video. Today's topics, I'm going to talk more about buyers giving us bad addresses and how it cost me $20 this week. Unbelievable, but true. I'm going to talk about an increase, of course, in neutral feedback as well as negative. I'm also going to talk about cancellations and retractions as two different entities. Stay tuned for more on that. And I want to cover a best offer I received that's unbelievably demanding. I think you'll enjoy that. So let's get right into the title topic of the video, which has to be UPS charging me $20. $20 to return an item to me because the buyer's address was bad. So to rehash, I talked about this last week. A buyer waited 1 week till after I shipped an item to tell me his address was no good. He had moved. Nothing I can do about it. I shipped it a week ago. Okay? He actually said to me in the message, he knew the item was going to come back to me. And he said to me, I want you to reship it to me to my new address at my expense. Never gonna happen. Okay? Not happening. So he opened an item not received case. Now before I tell you about the item not received case, I want to prove to you that this is the truth. Not that I need to, but I think it's correct. You can see it says insufficient address, return to sender. Okay? So as I said, when the buyer messaged me, he expected me to reship it to him at my expense when I got the item. That's never going to happen. So he opened an item not received case. What I had to do was I had to re-upload tracking again, which I already had uploaded from the beginning, all right, to keep the case active. I then called concierge because we all know that buyers have to have their legitimate address registered with eBay at all times. Those are the rules, and if they don't, it's on them. The fact that he put it in eBay messages a week later even helps me even more. So I figured it was going to be a slam dunk. I was wrong. Concierge told me that even though it's a black and white case and it's the seller's fault, it's the buyer's fault, they said that I have to wait 1 week because eBay has a 1 week moratorium on these item not received cases to give the seller a chance to make it right. I don't know what they expect a seller to do in a case like this. I really don't. But anyway, I have to call back next week again before they'll take any action on it. To me, it seems ridiculous. But that's the situation. But to make it even worse, I got a surcharge on my label from UPS for another $20 they're charging to send it back to me. Now, what I don't understand, at the very beginning when I shipped the item to the customer, I didn't pay $20 for the label. I paid less. I paid approximately $14. So why they want $20 to send it back to me is beyond me. And they shouldn't even be charging me that because I paid to have it shipped to Texas. All right? If they can't fulfill the commitment, fine, send it back to me and keep the money I paid. But no, they got to be a dick about it and charge me another $20, and there's really nothing I can do about it. So that is my main problem of the week. I also received another neutral feedback this week. All right? Basically, the buyer says, shipped right away, happy with everything, great price, but one of the 5 items had a broken clip. What can you do? All right? Neutral feedback really doesn't hurt, and I don't even try and get them removed anymore. Negatives, that's another whole story. But the reason I'm bringing up this neutral feedback is something interesting. I did a little investigating this week on my neutral feedbacks. And what makes it weird is that all of them were left by people who are mainly sellers on eBay. Highly unusual. I know buyers love to leave negatives and neutrals, but not sellers, but apparently that seems to be changing. So just be advised. Now I'm going to talk about cancellations and retractions. It's really a two-in-one story from several events that happened this week. And I'm going to show you a photograph right here. All right, this is what I woke up to this morning. All right, cancellation request. All right, and if you look down, you're going to see offer retracted on another item. I want to talk about both these right now. These things always seem to happen in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, and it was no different this time either. The cancellation happened in the wee hours of the morning, and it was a cheap item, all right? I haven't printed the label, all right? I've done no work, so I will agree to the cancellation, but not just yet. Every one of my listings says no cancellations will be accepted under any conditions, and I feel everybody needs to pay the kitty. So in a day or two, I'll accept the cancellation. I'm sure eBay showed him the same exact item for an even cheaper price than I was charging. So we'll see what happens with that. Now I want to talk about retractions as well, because you saw I had one of them. Again, in the middle of the night, and those freak me out. A buyer will send me a reasonable best offer on an item. Let's say $30 on a $35 item. I have not accepted the offer because I'm sleeping. The buyer will then immediately retract the offer. Why? I don't know. Now, what happened this time was even weirder. This clown retracted his offer, then sent me the exact same offer for the exact same amount of money. What do you think I did? Choice 1, did I accept the offer? Choice 2, did I decline the offer? Choice 3, did I decline and block? Those of you smart guys who answered choice number 3 are correct. I block anybody that retracts an offer. Adults must stand up. Adults must take responsibility for their actions. None of these givebacks fly with me. Anybody wants to pull crap like that, you get one shot to do it, and then you get blocked. So that's one less thing I got to worry about there. Continuing with the topic of best offers. I had one last week that was absolutely crazy. And it involves my favorite people, octogenarians. So I had this Cadillac wire wheel for sale. And it's locking. It must be locked. Without the lock, it's useless. Now the problem is, Cadillac offered maybe 6 or 7 different color-coded locks per model. So there's a 1 in 6 chance he's going to get the right lock if I put a lock in the hub for him, which I did. So I'm selling this hub, and I clearly say it comes with a lock, but there's only a 1 in 6 chance it's going to fit your key. If it doesn't fit your key, too bad. You better find your own lock. I'm very explicit about that. So let's say I'm asking, whatever it was, let's just say $80 for the wire wheel. So I get a best offer of $60, which is not terrible. I could afford to sell it for that. And I was considering doing it until Cute Joey read the love note that the octogenarian wrote in. And it said something like this. This offer is conditional on the fact that you are going to send me a yellow lock with this hub. If you're not going to send me a yellow lock, this offer is null and void. Number one, that is not a way to send a best offer. That's not acceptable, okay? That's not the way it's done on eBay. But of course, when you're over 80 years old, you're lucky you can tie your shoes. And if you think I'm being a little bit harsh, put yourself in my position when you have to deal with these people all the time. So, guess what? Plot twist. As it happens, I have every lock ever made. You know, blue, green, black, yellow, etc. Now, the hub in the picture did not come with a yellow lock. It came with a brown. So, I could easily pop the brown lock out, put a yellow one in, and send it off and make the sale. What did I do? A, did I do what I just said, change the lock and cater to him? B, out of principle, decline the offer and block the octogenarian. Yell out your answers while I take a drink. I know that was a slam dunk question. I don't think anybody was incorrect on that. I chose choice B. I declined the offer and I blocked the octogenarian. He has to learn that he cannot make demands like that. Because this is the kind of guy, if you cater to him and you do change the lock and send it off, he will then start trouble. He's going to be a problem. He's that old school mentality that wants it all their way and feels they can do no wrong. And half you guys agree with me because you sell on eBay Motors and you've had dealings with people like this. Half of you guys don't quite get it because you are the luckiest people on the earth. You haven't had to deal with any of these types. But you can trust Joe. You may not always agree with what I say, but I think everyone knows I'm a straight shooter and I'm a trustworthy, cool dude. So yeah, sales this week were very slow. I had one good day, which was Saturday. Saturday was excellent. All the other days were slow, with the exception of Thursday, which was, I would say, fair. So I had one good day, one fair day, and all the other days were slow. Just poor. One point I'd like to make before I forget it, and this doesn't have anything to do with eBay. I made an exploration video last Sunday, and it was rare that I got to see any sunlight. We've had nothing but clouds and rain all week again, and as soon as I got home from making the video, the clouds had rolled in, and that was the end of that. But in the video, I stated that I was not going to go back to that spot alone again. And I've been thinking a lot about that, and I think I am going to go back again, because there's another aspect of High Bridge Park that I want to cover that I really didn't cover enough. So I think I will chance it and go back again. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not swearing it's going to be this Sunday, but I am going back, okay? I got to go back at least one more time. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. And for those of you guys who watched the video and enjoyed it, I'm glad you liked it. I'm going to try and keep cranking them out as much as I can. To get back to eBay topics, let's see what else I have to discuss this week. One thing that continues to be a problem is overseas bidders sending reasonable best offers and not paying. I've talked about this before, and I've been burned so many times in the past that I guess about 8 or 10 months ago, I stopped accepting any offers from overseas buyers, any best offers, because they won't pay. In a recent video, I told you the story about a person from Japan who offered me only $5 less on an expensive item. Think about it. Let's say it was $95 on a $100 item. Anybody in the United States, I would have snapped that offer up in a hot second because they would have had to pay right away. But because they're overseas, eBay gives them 4 days to pay, and paying is optional. They don't have to pay, and if they don't, no repercussions, and they know it. So I won't accept. So I didn't accept the offer, like I told you, from the Japanese buyer. So don't you think that if he was a serious buyer, he would come back and just pay the extra $5? No, he never did. That tells me he was never serious about actually making any payment. So I did the right thing. Now, I have a friend of mine who also sells on eBay Motors, and we always talk about these overseas buyers who never pay. So last week, he had one that sent him a reasonable offer on an expensive item. For argument's sake, let's say $280 on a $300 item. And he wanted the sale because he was dead slow. So he accepted it. He accepted the offer. And he told me about it after the fact. I said, where was the person from? He named the worst possible location, Saudi Arabia. You will never see any money from Saudi Arabia. Don't accept any offers from there. Okay? He accepted the offer. He got burned. Okay? Then, the other day, a similar story. He gets a best offer, very reasonable offer, on a day he's dead slow. Let's just say it was $350 on an item that's $400. He accepted the offer, international. But this time he told me ahead of time he was going to accept it. I begged him. We were on the phone talking. I begged him. I said, please, for Christ's sake, don't do it. You'll never see $1. And he responded by saying, listen, it's so slow. I got to take the chance. I said, go ahead and take the chance then. But I swear to you, if he stiffs you, I'm going to break your balls. And he got stiffed. And his balls got broken by me. Now he says definitely he's washed his hands. He's never going to accept another international offer as long as he lives. But we'll just see if he holds his word. So yeah, guys, that's basically all I have to tell you today. It's Friday, May 30th, 2025, and the weather is absolutely rotten. This is the spring that we never had. The weather never, ever got warmer. I can accept the clouds and the rain. Hey, I'm used to them. Not these cold temperatures. I'm still wearing a jacket every day. Every day, okay? They're saying the next time we may see some sun will be on Monday, but the jury is still out on that. But anyway, I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you found it informative and enjoyable as well. I hope your eBay sales were good, and I hope they remain strong. Go out there, make a ton of money on eBay. Rock on, and peace.